that was a bit of a mental weekend, wasn't it? Lots to get into.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic weekend. Even the games that you thought, not sure I fancy this very much.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking Fulham Ipswich turned out to be fantastic.
Great game.
Had it all. Looking at the back pages for you, a lot of focus, of course, on last night's thriller. You lot make me mad is the headline on the Sun. Ruben Aherne screaming in the picture at his players. Diallo grabs leveller, but Ruben fumes at attitude of players, despite it being one of their best performances. Well, their best performance with Aherne. He still wasn't happy that they cannot do that consistently. Looking at the back page of the Times, it's pictures of Arne Slot almost comforting Trent Alexander-Arnold. One real tough day for Trent is the back page of the Times. Looking at the Daily Mail, they're focusing again on Aherne. I'm mad and I'm upset. And the Guardian Sport this morning going for Ahmere's winter warmer. United manager hails side mentality in thrilling draw. Just a quick glance at the Telegraph. Trent more suited to Tranmere, not Real. That was the catty comments from Roy Keane yesterday, which made everyone laugh. But a bad performance from Trent, but he did almost assist the goal, didn't he, in terms of getting that penalty?
But he had a poor game. His distribution as well was diabolical. But look, he wasn't the only one. You know, on that Liverpool side, there were plenty. I would say Mo Salah had a really, and he scored the penalty, really poor game. And there were lots of other Liverpool players that did. But that's taking the credit away from United, isn't it, really? Because there were so many of them. Yeah. I thought in midfield they had legs again. Ugarte, best game for the club for me. By a mile. You know? And Kobe Mainoo back in there as well.
Yeah, I thought Ugarte thought he was tremendous. He really did, Shebahn. And you're right. I thought, do you know who I thought played well first half? I thought McAllister played well first half.
He did.
Yeah, really
but you're right. I thought the better players were in United jerseys yesterday.
And do you know, it's the first that we've been able to say that in a while, that fans can come away and feel proud of the performance from the United players yesterday. I don't know if you actually saw, there was a clip going around on social media of Martinez, who I think is a brilliant player, and Gabby was mocking him before Christmas, saying he's miles off it, calling himself the butcher, saying that he's useless, etc. But he spoke about the mindset yesterday. Yeah. That was the change in performance. They believed in themselves. They had confidence. And actually, as a football player, they're all brilliant players. They've all got huge potential and performances in them. But how do you control your mind? And why was it the mindset stepped up against Liverpool when Liverpool's form has been so good?
Because it's Liverpool.
Correct.
Because it's Liverpool. And the task is, you know, when they play, I don't know, Leicester City or Ipswich or Southampton, they've got to produce the same sort of performance. And that's what gets to Ruben Amorim, isn't it? That they haven't been able to do that consistently. I mean, they won at Man City, of course. Yeah. But this was different because it was a smash and grab, wasn't it, Coyce, at Man City? Yeah. But this was no smash and grab.
You'd have to say, looking at that Liverpool performance yesterday, Manchester United's performance against Liverpool, you'd have to say maybe that a lot of the problems that they're having would be mental more than anything. Because if they can play like that and put in a level of performance like that, it must be something in their heads that's preventing them having the same application, desire to run about, belief in themselves. So it looks to me as if, and probably the manager will think to a certain degree it's the same, a lot of it is a mental problem, because the level of performance yesterday was as good as we've seen in a long time.
It's amazing, isn't it, the psychology of sport, especially in a new year. What was the change? What was the discussion? Did they practice it? Have they got a new psychologist? What is it that changed that made them yesterday believe in themselves and put on that performance? Going on like it was a win, it wasn't, it was a draw. But anyway, speaking of performances, can we focus briefly on Jack Grealish? Because he's an England international, £100 million player, he can always take the headlines. So inside the Sun today, Martin Blackburn back at Grealish. Pep wants to see his treble winning Jack back. He wants to see him back in the side. Of course, he's got to fight off the likes of Savinho, who's been outstanding and had another game over the weekend. Forced an early own goal by Koufal before teeing up Erling Haaland for goals either side of the break. His long-term future at City is looking increasingly uncertain following another stop-start season. And at the beginning of the campaign, he vowed to prove Gareth Southgate wrong for leaving him out of the Euro squad. Of course, he's had his injuries as well this season, but he's only started 10 games in all competitions this term. Jeff, does he have to up his game or does he have to move on?
I think he's finished there. I mean, sorry, that's really harsh. Jack's a wonderful player. Love watching Jack Grealish.
So do I.
I've never really felt that he actually fitted that well into Pep's master plan.
I'm with you. it's a kind of strange. The wording of what he said there is kind of strange. I felt Guardiola there, Jeff, because it sounds a little bit like a dig at Jack, I think. Rather than the easiest thing for him to do would have been to boost and back up Savinho and make it more about him, his form. He's the player that's in possession of that jersey, and that'll continue until either his form drops or Jack can do something to get back in the team. It sounded a little bit like me as if it was a shot over Jack's bows,
Yeah, it's the verbal kick on the backside, isn't it?
Correct. But I'm with you, mate. I have never ever felt that Jack has been 100% comfortable in that move, and I've watched him there on numerous occasions, and he certainly doesn't get the freedom to play like he had at Villa. That goes without saying, but that was never going to be the case. He was never going to get that. But you just wonder. I tell you one thing, it won't happen. I don't think he'll move on for £100 million.
No.
Look,
it's a question probably for later in the show, actually, is if Jack did go, where would he go?
Yeah.
Who would pay the money? Who would pay the wages? Where would he fit in? Something for us to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shebahn.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.